Buongiorno a tutti e benvenuti a un nuovo appuntamento di nuoto.com. Queste live interview sono effettuate grazie alla disponibilità dei grandi campioni e dei personaggi più di spicco del nuoto italiano e internazionale. Oggi abbiamo il piacere e l'onore di avere con noi il presidente della Federazione Russa, Vladimir Salnikov, il più grande protagonista del mezzofondo mondiale tra gli anni 70 e gli anni 80. A voi la visione. Mr. President, people are following the stars, are following the legends through television, and thanks to their performances, thanks to their records, etc. But very little is known about their private life. So I want to start with the first question: Who is Vladimir Salnikov in the private life today, and what is he doing?
I'm trying to avoid, let's say, too much publicity about my private life. I want to keep it private, so I prefer to stay with my family when I have free time, with my son, with my wife, with my mother-in-law, and close friends. So maybe it's different from, let's say, persons who are seeking for additional, let's say, exposure. So I appreciate that I could spend my time without looking around to see if I say something wrong or right, because people always follow your, let's say, appearance on TV or media. So that's why I want to live my life quiet.
Okay, that's nice. But do you have private life? Do you have time enough for your family?
Well, of course, time don't have enough time, so I try to keep my time with the family as much as I can. Especially we go to vacation, and I prefer that they go all together. During the normal, let's say, working time, sometimes you're going to get late home and wake up early. So it's normal for most of us. And I appreciate that my wife is helping me very much and supporting me in that, let's say, life without schedule, because in sport, things happening very fast, and you have to react fast. You have to take some decision fast. And it's really hard to plan everything ahead. So you're like a fireman. Oh, I feel myself as a fireman, ready to go anytime, and so it keeps it requires some kind of patience, because troubles coming, little troubles, big troubles, they're always coming to you, and it doesn't matter if it's related or not. So people think if you are president of the Russian swimming, so you're responsible for everything, and parents thinking that even problems with the coach in the local club is your concern. If they don't have water in the shower, that's also your responsibility. And that's life, and it keeps me alive. It keeps me be interesting in what I'm doing. And with support of my family, I'll try to do my best.
Thank you. So I feel that you have a fire inside. You still have a lot of passion for your discipline, for our discipline. So it comes out from your words, and that's very nice. Can you, about your sporting life? So you were one of the greatest swimmer in the world in the history. So, and your career was surely amazing. So could you remind us some of your most exciting moments, and also some of the difficult moments in your swimming career when you were a swimmer?
I would say there are a few points which comes to my mind once I'm answering this question. First, when I appeared on the international scene in Montreal, 1976, when I finished fifth in 1500 freestyle, I was 16 years old, and I was in that event, I was the best from from all Russian swimmers who qualified for Olympics. And when I qualified, I was only third in Russia. So finishing fifth in the Olympics with 2 European records during the distance on 800 and then at 1500 freestyle made me feel not just very excited and happy, but I understood that somehow I got into this stage where my position is already improved so significantly that national competitions seems not as important as it was before, because somehow I jumped over the staircase. I got into the higher floor without passing maybe 2-3 stages, and realized that I have to work harder. I have to train much more harder to stay at that level and improve. So my focus changed, and since then I was really concerned of competing on the high international level. Regarding the other points, of course, the first world record, I broken it on 800 freestyle, and it was during the it was in Russia. We have big national competitions called Komsomolskaya Pravda, and in the program there was no 800 freestyle. So my coach Igor Koshkin, with whom I trained more than 10 years, and he say, okay, this is the time for you to try to break the world record. And I was really worried about it, because I know that everybody knows to break the world record you have to put everything on the table or in the pool, whatever. So, but then I don't know how should I swim another 700, which is left to swim. It was hard, but with this world record, I understood I can't just be only the visitor in international swimming. I could be on top of it. And time comes in Moscow Olympics when I won 1500 freestyle with a new world record and below 15 minutes. And another point was probably boycott 1984, when I was ready, and I was maybe in much better shape than I was in Seoul 1988. So all Olympics were the significant points in my career, and from the first to last.
So what we are thinking is about Seoul. So I think that Seoul for you was something amazing. So because after the boycott in '84, which I think it's hurting you a lot, so the victory in '88 was something amazing for you, or not, or like the other victories, or it has a different meaning for you, or not?
Absolutely.
And how much hurts you the '84?
Well, 84 hurts me so much that I could stop. I could finish my career in that year, because the feeling that the main goal, the main meaning of life was taken away from you, really create kind of empty space in front. So you just don't know what to do, because we train hard and from year to year, and this is disappear. You're just like staying on the edge of cliff, but you see nothing in front. So it was like a empty void in front, and it lasted quite a long. So until the decision was taken to continue, and it was also a hard decision, because my coach Igor Koshkin was chosen as a head coach of the national team, and I had some problems with my shoulders, so I have to treat the shoulder problem. And it was really hard decision with whom I should continue if I'd like to. So when it comes that only one person close to me who understands me very well, and even maybe much better than I do it myself, it was my wife. And from the beginning, it was like, no, it can't happen. But actually, it was said by my father-in-law. He said, what are you looking for? So you have a person who is graduated from the Physical Culture Institute, and who was working in the national team, and who is, really a young scientist and well know the track and field and swimming now. So you don't need to go, like for searching anymore. So this is your wife. And I say, this sounds really, like absolutely unacceptable. But when I start thinking about that, I realized this is the only option. And since then, we started working together, and it was a really hard time because I'm not the person whom you can say, and I will do it without really studying the deep into the subject. So, and I'm really I was arguing with every decision she's taken. It was a nightmare, I believe. And we were arguing during the pool session. We were arguing at home, but at one point I stopped because she pursued me that if I continue the way I do and not put all the trust in her, that's not going to work. And on some training, then she advised me to stop the training sent because her results, her data, which is collected from different instruments and testing things and so on, shows that I'm already exhausted, so I shouldn't really keep going. And I was saying, no. I still have a strength to continue. And in my past time when I was younger, we believe that if you walk out of the pool by yourself, means that you didn't really put everything in your training. So if you've been taken by hands and somebody take you out of the pool and put on a new pool deck, that's fine. That means that the training was sufficient. So, and continue the story. Next morning, I continued. I say, no. I still have a lot of strength to continue. And then next morning, I feel absolutely, I feel like a disaster. I couldn't really train. And she say, well, you see. And from that moment, I really trusted in her, and she observed every training, and we have control, the medical control. We have absolutely everything. And that time we were in a postgraduate course from, we studied on postgraduate course on physical culture institutes in one in Moscow, one in St. Petersburg. And for us it was kind of a new approach. So like, in science, the better results is always treated as a result. So it keeps me internally free if it will be some fails. So that actually leads to success in 1986, world record on 800 freestyle at Goodwill Games, and a failure at the World Championships in Madrid, and then in Seoul. So in Seoul, coming to Seoul, I didn't lose any single race on 1500 freestyle in my country, and I kept it about 10 years in the world. So I didn't lose any single race from 78 to up to 86, up to World Championship. It was enough. And but in world ranking, leaving the top position, which is also ours for the same years, about 10 years, in 1988, gave everybody the impression that really there is nothing left. There is not the guy who can be considered in the top three on the podium, and that actually on some extent it helps, because when I get into the games. Actually, I won the national championship. I missed the qualifying times a little, and there were some rumors that you shouldn't go there. And the head coach has absolute right to say you're not qualifying, you're not going. And it comes to my decision, because thanks for that I begin that chance, and I didn't want to go as a tourist to the games. That was quite obvious. So I say, okay, if I feel I'm strong enough with checking my power, my strength, some competition which were, let's say, a month ahead, and if I feel I'm in coming to the good shape, I will go. If not, so I will not. And then it was a dual meet with USSR Canada in Moscow. So also I swam 800 freestyle. I feel like I'm on the right way, and decision was taken. So I went to Seoul. Of course, it was absolutely different from what I felt in Moscow, because in Moscow I was, absolutely on the top, and used to have, I used to attract all the attention from media, from everybody asking, autographs, asking questions, if it's going to be the world record or not, and so on. And I was like in the middle of the crowd. But in Seoul, I was absolutely isolated. Only the teammates who were with me during the staying in Seoul were cheering me up. My wife didn't go because in May, a few months before the games, we got a baby. And she was at home with him, and I was, without my personal coach. Well, but I think that situation helps me to conserve my psychological energy, and I didn't spend so much energy on answering some questions which were sometimes very stupid. So I keep going. I keep training every day and control everything I do. And I was getting more and more assurance that in the right moment, I will use all my sports experience, all my knowledge and everything. And I knew that I'm coming to the good, really good shape. That's all.
That's great. That's great. During this answer, you touched, according to my opinion, you touched two interesting points in this moment. So, in the world, many people is talking about talent. Talent. This is a talent. I am detecting a talent. This one will be the best. So, for sure, you are one of the top talents in the history. What is your opinion about talents? Who is a talent? What is the meaning of talent, according to your way of thinking?
Yeah, this is a good question. Thanks for that. I'll tell you the story. When I moved from one coach to another, I started with a very good coach in St. Petersburg in Ekran swimming club, which is still there, and the club. And unfortunately, the coach passed away a couple of years ago. His name is Gleb Petrov. He was the first who demonstrated me how to swim with a passion, how to swim with a good technique. And once I got to the pool at the age of 8, he demonstrated the perfect butterfly swim for the kids, and it was so impressive that I thought, okay, maybe one year I could swim close to that. And we've been training with him for say more than 6 years, 7 years or so. And on one day, he told me, your breaststroke is not so good, and your sprint in freestyle not so good. You don't have a power enough. You're kicking very poor. Butterfly, not a good stroke for you. Well, backstroke, it was good, but now something wrong, and it's hard to say you will improve in the near future. Swim backstroke, butterfly, breaststroke, short distance freestyle. And I was like, oh, what is anything left? So yes, 1500 freestyle. I think you're going to be good at that. But this is 1500 freestyle, so I have trained much harder or twice as my friends. And say, well, but it's likely there is nothing left. And when I moved to the another group who trained, which group to the group trained by Igor Koshkin, the famous Russian coach, and It was hard because the guys were older than me, 1 or 2 years, and every training, like for me, was like really a battle. And every training on the swimming sets, maybe I was losing like 200 meters or 300 meters on the standard sets, and it was a disaster. And every day, every training, I was trying to catch up. I was trying to, decrease this this distance which is separate me from them. And maybe that really helps. Well, it really helps at the end. But my new coach, Igor Koshkin, was saying, your best talent is withstand this hard training I'm giving you. So maybe he was right, because there are some kids around and who was faster, who was stronger, who was more flexible, who looks like more like a swimmer than I do. And I agree that maybe my talent was really to stand these hard trainings. I survived and kept myself going. And also maybe I was stronger than average with my state of mind. Psychologically, I was stronger. That's definitely so I could really stand some failures and so on, and revive and keep going again. Maybe that was a combination of what they say talent. So for those who has lack of physical benefits or physical advantage, I would say the hard work can compensate that. But you have to really trust in yourself that one day you will achieve a result. So you get into that.
It's a very nice answer. Thank you for this, because it passed that you have to believe in yourself. You have to work hard. So the ethic of working must be inside you, and you have to push hard every day and follow the suggestion of your coach. This is briefly what you said, and you explained it very well. So I agree with you. So we agree with you, because sometimes, and today, everything must be done immediately. Guys and coaches want everything in the same moment they are asking. So I want the result today, not tomorrow. So you have to plan some years in order to achieve your best, which is the 100% of yourself. It can be the result can be winning the Olympics, but we think that your best result is to be able to express the 100% of yourself. This is your real Olympic. I don't know if you understand the meaning of this.
Yes, I perfectly understand, because if you don't give it 100% try, if you will not do it, it will be difficult to continue, because every point, every important point in let's say in swimming career, like competition or so on. Sometimes it maybe you don't swim with the top result, but if you give it 100%, that means a lot. So every try should be 100%, and then you used to it. You train your status, your physical ability. And it expands your ability from one competition to another. If you not give it 100%, it is really hard to see your limits, and you don't feel confident for the next you say try for the next competition. So, but what I learned from swimming, winning is more about really give everything from you've got everything.
Yeah.
And if you fail, well, that's fine. It's not give you impression of losing something because you are fair with yourself. This is very important. That if you try 100%, you give everything you could do, and you fail. you look in your mirror next morning and say, okay, well, at least I really put everything I could in that event, and if I feel okay, then it's nothing wrong. That's show exactly where you are. Maybe you have to change something. Maybe you have to change, but you feel much more confident to compare with situation like you didn't give 100% of your efforts to achieve results. You fail and say, I could do better if, and it leads you to some speculation how that could be if. So I don't like if. So I like it. I did it. So, and in many cases, I was happy. it leads to the winning, but I in my career I felt some absolutely disastrous moments, like in Madrid when I lost 1500 and 400, like in European Championship in '77 when I didn't qualify to the final, and I thought, okay, maybe something, maybe Earth will just, like collapsing in front of me, will collapse in front of me. Something, maybe the moon comes to the Earth. I think maybe it comes, but in a second I realized nothing like that happened, and to the universe, your failure is nothing. And in a couple of hours, I got to my normal state, thinking, okay, maybe the extinction of life in 5 billion years probably could be a really, really big problem. But the failure at that moment is nothing to compare.
Okay, thank you very much. This answer will be very appreciated by coaches and the swimmers of this generation, because sometimes we forgot which are the right values in order to achieve something. And during the explanation of your history, of your swimming history, you passed through a moment, I mean 84, where everything was lost. So no goals, no targets. It's more or less, let's say less, similar to the current situation with COVID-19, the virus who is spreading through the world. And I want to ask you if in such moment, not in those moments in 84, but now, which can be the situation in the future, and how can the swimmers and people in sport manage this situation? Do you see which kind of future you see for swimming after this pandemic situation, after this outbreak? And what is similar to that period? What is new? We know that there is something new and something tragically new, but your opinion about the outbreak? And
answering the first part of your question, boycotts of Olympics, it's different. So because some swimmers compete, some swimmers not. This is different. So you feel very jealous about the situation because you see that other people still keep going and you cannot. So this is really really bad feeling. Now everybody in bad situation, but it's equal to everybody. So, and I consider that they will find a way to keep going. Everybody. I think those who have been concerning about maintaining their physical shape, physical activities, really will be on the blocks when it's over. And I think it's a little bit easy because the whole world in the same situation. So we are all in the same shoes. So in that case, the future. No, maybe yes. Maybe it'll be less kisses and hugs. Maybe not at all. So we'll not be hugging everybody and kissing like 3 times in Russia. We kissing to greet, 3 times. In Spain they do it 2 times. And I don't know how many kisses you give once you're greeting someone in Italy. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, maybe we're gonna miss that. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they'll finally the vaccination will be successful, and we pass it as a bad point in our lives, as a bad memories and so on. Swimming, to cheer up our swimmers, of course, 2 months or close to 3 months without pool, without water, it's difficult. It's very difficult. But the history knows a lot of examples when some health problems, some let's say traumas like broken leg, arm, whatever, and athletes staying at home without training for 3, 6 or more months, and then in history we know that they finally they coming back, and they were achieving the good results. So I think this is about the situation. So I think this close to 3 months isolation really, it's a fact. It's really affecting the swimmers, of course, but I think we will survive. We will get back to our work. We will get back to the pools, and we keep going with our training. The changes, I don't think it will be significant changes in a competition. Maybe some protocols will be established and should be followed, like so-called social distance and so on. But I don't think they will be swimming in full body suits with a mask, protecting our bodies from the rest of the world. I think chlorinated water killing all bacteria. The only swimmers could survive, as I know, by myself. In the past we have much more chlorine in the water, and we are still alive. And I recall the look of swimmers in the past when we were all green blonde, because the color of the hair was changed due to chlorine, and with the red eyes, because the goggles were not really I remember the times where we were really hunting for the pair of goggles. As a kids, we swam even without goggles. So you can, once you finish the training, you see the light differently. Well, anyway, so we passed it, and I think maybe it will be different requirements for cleaning the pool, for cleaning the all areas, and I think maybe chlorine get back to the pools. But there's nothing dramatically, I would say, should happen or going to happen with the swimming.
Okay, thank you. One more question, because we know about Russia, about the power of Russian swimming, and not only in swimming, but we are talking about swimming. Could you briefly explain how is the organization of your system, of your swimming system? So I'm explaining a bit better. So we know that top swimmers are probably in the national centers, and they are training with the other top guys. But how is the path from a club to another center, to a bigger club, or how is organized the structure of swimming for the children, for the young guys, for the juniors? How is developing everything through the beginning up to the highest level? I mean, about organization. So it's just on clubs. Clubs are giving the best swimmers to the centers, and then there are other highest performance centers. How is the situation? How is the structure there?
Well, I try to do my best to explain it. Sometimes even for us, it's so complicated with that we cannot answer some questions. But private clubs, we have only maybe few private clubs where they develop swimming with the private pools, the private facilities. Most of the facilities belongs to either to the city or to the province, or province we call the region, and or federal, let's say, government, or so on. So normally, well, in Russia we call it sports schools. So it means like in a municipality, like in Moscow, there are maybe 60 sports schools where they develop swimming, and that sports schools they got funds from the city to develop all programs starting from zero up to the elite athletes. So the kids, in most of the cases, they could get the knowledge, they could get the skills how to swim free. But it goes parallel. So parents may be asked to pay for their, let's say, first year, and this is not a really significant amount of money. It's very affordable. And the selection to the next stage comes after the first year of education in that school. I mean, swimming education. And from the second year, if they qualified, so in the swim, the school could have possibility to provide the training program in different pools. So it's not like one school, one pool. This is a dream. But I wish I could see this dream come through, but we don't have enough swimming pools in Russia. So in one pool could be 5-6 schools who rented water, time in the pool.
Yeah.
And back into the school structure. So from the second year, parents pay nothing, so it's free. You have to stay in a group and qualify with the results to the next stage, and practically you pay nothing for anything. Maybe maybe for the sport equipment, if you're not provided by that structure, by that institution. So if once you achieve the level, as we call it, master of sport, this is a standard established by Ministry of Sports, you getting to the top group. So the number of swimmers in that group could be maybe 5, 6, 8, 10. So it's not be a good, it's not be really a crowded group. Coach still get paid from his school, so he's like employer on the school, or means on the city or the province. And if you competing and qualifying qualifying as a candidate to the national team, you'll be allowed to attend the training camps organized by paid by Ministry of Sport, organized by Russian Swimming. And but also you have a possibility, or there are some possibilities, if a school is good funded, they could have their training camps in some other places during the year. There are not many, of course, but it depends from one to another. For instance, if the big cities like Moscow or St. Petersburg, they have money to organize the summer training camp, and they going to the other places like Black Sea coast, or maybe to neighboring countries for the training camps. But once you are qualified for the national team, so we have around 300 swimmers who is qualifying as a candidates to the national team, because national team is a structure which composed only before the qualification tournament, before the, let's say, major international events like European Championships or World Championships. So the rest of the time they're all candidates. And these candidates could receive this help from the Ministry of Sport, so they could be provided with facilities. So they're going to the training camps with their coach, or if they cannot go in with the coach, they're going along. And in a training camp, they join a group, join the group who have been trained by a national coach. But say it's not covering the whole year. So big part of your time you stay in your home and using the local facilities. But only if you are really a top light swimmer, you spend maybe 5-6 times a year, maybe more, in your training camps organized by a federation, paid by Ministry of Sports. And these training camps are located in near Moscow. We have a training center called Ozero Krugloe, the lake, round lake is a title. And we also have, as a federation, we have facilities in Volgograd, down on the Volga River, and have good infrastructure. We have 2 pools there, indoor 50 meter, outdoor 50 meter, 25 and 20 meter for kids. So 4 pools. Yeah. And this center works mostly for the junior swimmers. So also who qualified to be a candidate to the national team. So it's official, let's say title, a candidate. So we have a list of candidates according to their results, and they can use this facility for free. So swimmers pay nothing for anything: travel, housing, food, accommodation, everything. So,
okay. So nice. Thank you. It was finally we know something more about the Russian system, because we just received some partial information. So it's very nice to know and to listen to your work, because now it's clear and complete. We know how it works by you. Therefore, I have to thank you. A couple of more questions. We are moving to some one funny question, let's say. So in your moment, in your generation, in Russia, there were some very good athletes. But we choose one who is contemporary with you, which is Sergei Bubka. So, and I wanted to ask you, is better Bubka or Salnikov?
I don't know. Actually, I never compare my results with anybody else. It's a job for journalists, for those who are studying all statistics and can compare the different things. So we are from different sports, track and field and swimming. So for me, I cannot compare. I would say the swimmers deserve much better than they have, because the work they do in the pool not really 100% recognized for those who's paying money. So for that, we always think that we deserve more than we have, and for that, as a swimmer, so I would say maybe we should compare in the same sport who is better or not. But I better not touch this subject with the game sports. Otherwise, we'll go to the different direction.
No, it's okay. It's fine. No worries. So you are both great athletes, and you gave great emotions to us. So no problem. That was my curiosity only. It's a stupid curiosity, probably. However, and about swimming and about middle distance, do you see now someone who is impressing you for the results, performances? Do you think there will be, or is already swimming a kind of new Salnikov around the globe on middle distance swimming, or not?
Well, I'm afraid I will not answer that question, because so many swimmers around, and with my job, I'm not really looking for particular swimmers around the world to select them for anything. So I'm more like observing it from a different point. But like I would say, the good middle distance swimmer. So he will definitely will be not good only on 400 freestyle. Should be 200, should be 400 freestyle, should be 4x200 relay, and maybe 4x100 freestyle relay. So at least from 4, if you got 3, and if he on top of the world in those three with it, well, one with the team and two on individual, like two then I would say he will be welcome to the club of the top middle distance swimmers. But this is for you to consider who is there.
Yeah. Okay. The last question for you. Don't you think that the major sports institution, I mean FINA, IOC, and so on, should listen a bit more the voice of coaches and swimmers in when they are finding and getting new ideas, or they are trying to consider new things or new way to organize swimming? Because my opinion, our opinion is that the real actors, the real people who is working on the pool are not considered enough, or it can be I am wrong.
Well, what I noticed for the maybe last changes happened for maybe last 5 years or so. The role of swimmers, the role of athletes become more and more significant in a world institution, a world international institution. So the former athletes sitting in IOC, former in the commission, and for instance, also in FINA, we have bureau member Kenny Paines, who is sitting with the bureau. She's a member of the bureau, also the chair of the athletes commission. What I am seeing, the voice of the athletes now is louder, so the opinion is, I would say, important. Maybe in decision making, it's not enough, but we are on this is happening, and I see this is a great achievement. Regarding the coaches, of course. Should be balanced. I think the coaches committee, which is organized by FINA, is quite a good platform to express opinion of the coaches. And as a FINA bureau member, I noticed that actually I'm the FINA liaison for the coaches committee. So FINA organized the meeting. So we have coaches committee. We have subcommittees for each discipline: diving, water polo, artistic, high diving, so on. The coaches are involved in discussing the calendar, involving in the program, and so on. But in a big structure, which we have in the Olympic Committee at FINA, so in parallel, let's say, to make a final decision, you have to consider many factors. So the opinion of the coaches, opinion of the technical committee, opinion of the athletes committee, opinion of the legal committee, and so on. So then get it together and find what's going to be the best for everybody. Sometimes maybe certain proposals will not get into the final decision because of the chain of coordination. But for instance, the World Cup, but it is a good example. The World Cup, a couple of years ago, it was 2-day program, which were considered as a very tight, and not the whole distances were included. And after discussion with the coaches committees and the technical committees, the FINA decided that it's going to be 3-day program. But what is 3-day program? It's good for the swimmers, it's good for the coaches, but it's bad for the organizers because it's more money involved. So the organizers have to put more money. They have to find money. They have to sell TV rights to get some compensation. So everything is linked to each other. So you cannot make one decision without affecting anything else. For that reason, it's very difficult. Sometimes from let's say, a certain point of view, it could be seen like unfair and so on. But in the modern world, we cannot ignore things that television and media playing the significant role in developing sport, because the money comes from there. Most of the money comes from there. The sponsors, this is also, they have to give the sponsors what they want. So they want exposure. They want, they want to be seen on a pool deck, on the screens, and so on. Swimmers, because I was a swimmer, I still consider myself as a swimmer in my soul. And what I noticed that swimmers playing every time more and more important role in decision making. But the coaches, it's always no swimmer, no coach, no coach, no swimmer, eggs and chicken, and so on. Because once you entering the pool, when I was a child, for me, coach was a god. I trusted 100%, and I think there are 3 or 4 stages of the relationship between swimmer and the coach. The first stage, which is lasting quite long. Let me say from the first maybe step into the swimming and until maybe a certain age, maybe 16 or so on, then the coach really got. There's no question. 2 rules, and this is obvious. This is like classical coach always right, and if he's wrong, see rule number 1. The second stage, when the coach and swimmer became more, let's say, close to each other in terms of understanding what's happening, and the swimmer becoming not just a swimmer who listens to the coach. He has to give a reply, and the coach have to listen to this reply. So they are cooperating. And then on that stage, this is a mutual work where the success depends on how they have this relation. Because the older the swimmer gets, the mistakes are much more significant they could do. I think the fails will be much more difficult, much more dangerous. So for that, they have to listen to each other more carefully. And the next stage, where the swimmer is so developed that he feels himself like a fish in the water, like a dolphin, like a shark, or whatever, and he feels that he knows everything about his body, about himself, and he knows what to do. That stage only affordable maybe for the few in the world, where then of course with the full responsibility on which leads to this position, and then can say, okay, I'll better train with this coach or with another coach because I know what I need. But the without first 2. On the first stage, it's impossible. I think an age of 8, 10, to say I know what to do better than my coach is impossible. This is absolutely nonsense. Well, but I know some swimmers who say, okay, I feel I need to learn from that coach because he give me some new. So swimmers choose. Swimmer make a choice. But he has to have a really good background and experience, and of course the knowledge to come to this point. And this experience may be, it's more than 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. So it was great to listen to you this 53 minutes now. Really, the very last question. Have you ever been in Italy? Of course, while swimming, probably yes. As a president, also. But let me know how many times you came to Italy and what you think about our country. Don't tell me this is the most beautiful country in the world, because I can trust you. I don't.
It's second after Russia, of course. No, I like Italy very much, and I like people. People are very friendly, and I think I know a good history, like Renaissance and so on. And actually, when I was like 6 or 7 years, 6, when I was 6, my best book was a Spartacus by Giovannioli. It's a very thick book, so I can't recall how I read it, how long, how many weeks I read it, but it was my favorite book. So I know about the Spartacus and that version much more maybe than someone else in Russia in that age, definitely. So I like Rome. I like Venice. I've been to Italy many times. I can't say how many, maybe 10, 15, 20, well, maybe more. And the people is always friendly. They're smiling. That's good. And they understand the sense of humor there in Italy is very high. So this is I appreciate it very much, because my mentor, my father-in-law, who passed away unfortunately 10 years ago, he told me one interesting thing. So he told me that, in life will be many losses, many great losses. You could lose, you will lose your parents, you will lose your friends, and this is a great disaster. But if you lose the sense of humor, you became lost as a person. Yeah. And if you lost as a person, where you could find such a good person as you were before? Well, before. So, if you lose the humor, you lost yourself. That's the point. And I think if we smile, we can solve any problems, and we could achieve any understanding much better. So I really appreciate it. That Italians have a very good sense of humor. The people like to sit with the families and appreciate that, because they have tradition, as in Russia. And they get the father, the mothers, the grandparents together with the grandkids, and we have also this same tradition. So we feel very very alike with Italians. And difficult to say. I cannot say I feel like at home, because the language is different. But I always feel very, let's say, easy.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel very easy in Italy, and the food, the climate, the culture. So that definitely, without questions.
So pizza and spaghetti.
No, I prefer Parmesan cheese. And but regarding the typical Italian food, I was also once Italian by Camillo Cometti, my good friend. Yeah. He invited me once to Italian restaurant. It was not really sophisticated, like special looking. It was like a tavern, or I don't know, cafeteria. But this is the best pizza in the city. So I think that's a good sign, because sometimes we follow. We think that the surrounding is the matter, but surrounding doesn't matter. So the matter is the thing for which you're going to this surrounding.
Okay. So, President, many thanks. I'm really honored and pleased to this talk with you, to this chat with you. You were very, very kind, available. You explained us a lot of things. It was absolutely a pleasure for me, for our team, for our staff of nuoto.com. And I think it will be very interesting for the Italian audience. I mean, coaches, swimmers, and parents. You said you touched a lot of interesting points, and you touched it in the right way. So I was a bit concerned before, because I met you somewhere and sometimes on the pool deck. I am the head coach of the junior team, the Italian junior team. But of course, I saw you just as a person and as a boss of swimming, and so we didn't have the chance to meet each other. Of course, I hope to meet you soon or late somewhere on a pool deck with less hugs and less kisses, but with all the community making a competition, not after this situation of the virus. So once again, thank you very much, which is spasibo in your language, I suppose, more or less. And I hope to meet you again. And so all the best to you, to your family, and for your career. And we need people like you in swimming. Okay?
Thank you. Grazie. Arrivederci.
Spasibo. Ciao. Bye-bye. Thank you.